What's up, guys? Welcome to the final episode of Nintendo Pow Block. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and joining me, as always, is that retro code Eddie V.
Cocoa Rice Krispie Treats.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, what is no, this is never gonna end, is it?
What I said, yes. I was saying normal.
Also joining us is the wise Wisconsinite Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
So if you guys missed last week's episode, Nintendo Pow Block is ending, but that does not mean we are going away. We are evolving on this feed, on the Nintendo Pow Block podcast feed. We are evolving into Codename NX. The NX project is our new chapter. You know, like we're kind of merging Arsenal X and Pow Block and everything else that we love to do and talk about and, you know, podcast about, and content-wise, we're kind of merging all of it into one new channel, one new chapter for us as content creators and podcasters and everything. So, you know, we're going to do a new show called the NX Show. It will show up here on the Pow Block channel. It might even already say it. You know, you're going to have our whole backlog of podcasts on this feed still. So you will not only recognize all of our episodes of Pow Block, 3 and some change years of Pow Block. You will see all of our Arsenal X episodes. You will see all of our movie commentaries here on this feed. You will also see the 9 episodes Jesse and I did of Javelins for Hire. So you're going to see all of our backlog content. It's very important for us to, you know, for people who are joining, you know, with this new thing, to see where we came from and how we grew and how we evolved and everything. And, you know, we're going to use this last episode to talk about what we enjoyed most about doing Nintendo Pow Block and podcasting every week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. You know, it's you know, and the content we did for these channels, and kind of talk about what we're doing for the new channel and what you can expect from our new channel. So codenamenx.com is our new website. You can send us emails, although Nintendo Pow Block's email and Arsenal X's email will still be open for another year. I would like to give people just another year to you know, throw in questions there. I figure that's enough time for people to transition. So we'll still be getting questions from there, but contact at codenamenx.com with the subject line question. That's how we will read your questions on the air. So the NX Show is our new show. It's coming. It's the first episode. We're going to do kind of an episode 0 just to figure out a way to navigate the show and kind of get used to the new procedures and everything. But the first kind of real episode, we're going to start live streaming our podcast on our Twitch channel, which I think is twitch.tv/the NX Show. It's been a while since I you know, set this all up. I need to figure this. I need to remember. Heck show. Okay. Twitch.tv/the NX Show. And we have a new YouTube channel, which the link will be below. With that said, I know we have a couple giveaways that we still need to do. We're going to delay them about 2 more weeks, just because I want to get everything situated with our new project and everything. But yeah, that's what we're doing. We're closing the chapter on Pow Block and Arsenal X, and we are creating something new. And I'm really excited for us. You know, we talked a lot about it. We actually recorded our last episode of Arsenal X before this. We talked a lot about it there, which you can catch tomorrow on the Arsenal X feed. But I'm really excited for us, guys. I'm really, really excited. You know, yeah. I didn't know how to do it.
The M.
Yeah, something like this. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this new venture? Because I know we've talked a lot about it last week and on Arsenal X and in our Facebook chat and stuff like that. But this is happening. This is for real now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm short and sweet. I'm just excited and I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah.
To the change and just kind of getting to just talk about games still and other things as well. So I'm just looking forward to all of it.
Yeah.
I'm like Jesse said, excited. I'm elated. I'm very thrilled and just want to see where we're gonna go with this. Um, because we got a lot of stuff in place. Um, and I can't wait to like we actually execute it. And it's gonna feel like, but it feels like the same old thing. I'm like, well, not really. I'm like, this is kind of new to us,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, but I mean, just as it's going to be something new, I feel like, like we said on previous things, like we're going to have more natural conversations about stuff.
Yes.
We're going to have more the show's probably going to be longer. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's probably going to be closer to an hour and a half than an hour, maybe longer, depending on what week it is or what kind of guests we have on and what we're streaming and if people in the chats ask us questions or whatever.
It's E3 coming up soon, so there's going to be lots of news to talk about. There's going to be a lot, obviously we're going to want to still get all the good, good news. Whereas, in the past running two different shows, sometimes we'd put filler stuff in there,
Yes.
that wasn't as important, but we felt like, we could still talk about it. Now we're just going to be cutting that stuff out. Going to be, just talking about like the news that's we feel is like very important and is the most important thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So
and Jesse, we talked about this a lot too, and you and I at least are fans of Giant Bomb and how they do their shows and just kind of their long form style shows, and they have like this natural progression of the show, and I kind of want to have that for us, not necessarily the way that they do it, but just like that. Okay, we're going to talk about what we playing, and it's just a natural conversation about games and what we're playing, and get the Twitch chat involved, and have some sort of new layer to the show, and then transition into news and kind of talk about these things and at a longer, because like sometimes one of the biggest things we got was, okay, we're bleeding other stuff into the other shows, and they're kind of feeling samey and whatever, and that's okay. Well, now we don't have that excuse because this is just what we're doing now, and so the NX show, and then we're bringing back the indie stuff Ed and I started doing, and then we brought Jesse in a couple episodes last season. We're bringing back squad goals from Arsenal X. We're bringing back Royale with Cheese from Arsenal X. We're bringing back content that we have kind of found ourselves not having time to do because we're focusing on other things, or multiple channels, or I'm focusing on other stuff or NGR or NGP, helping them out with stuff, or what I mean? Like we're going to have more of a focus and more creativity and things, and we're bringing back the movie show that I started with DNA called Real Talk, out of the vault, as Ed said, and we're gonna kind of experiment with talking about movie stuff, and we've talked a lot about doing more with less is more type of thing, being more consistent, having a positive spin on a lot of things, quality over quantity, consistency, and that's just what we want to do. And as we close this chapter on Pow Block and even Arsenal X, like the NX chapter is the next chapter for us, and it's exciting. logos are done. I gotta set up some social medias, and some fans actually brought up a good point. They're like, if you're using Pow Block as a jumping off point, use those social medias, because we're not verified, so we can change our names. Facebook, we have a Facebook page ready to go. We can use the Pow Block community group as a jumping off point. We can link the Arsenal X group to the Pow Block group, so those fans know. And Twitter and Instagram, we can make the change. I have the name secured, so all I have to do is take the time to sit down and change the name on the NX Show account for 5 seconds, and then move it over to the Pow Block Instagram and Twitter. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that we've been working on in the background for this. Jesse's writing the new theme song, which is actually really, really awesome.
Mhm.
I love how it starts out, and I love, man, dude, just that. I don't want to spoil it because I want people to hear it next week, but it's and Ed, you're prepping your blogs for both sites. Your last one for NGR, and then first one for NX, for Codename NX, and as am I, and so and it's, I'm not leaving Nerds Gone Rogue. I'm still going to be on that show, on podcasts, but as a group, this is the priority now, right? And
Yes.
I mean, I even had that discussion with Matt too. It was like, even if this YouTube channel kind of goes away, the Nerds Gone Rogue YouTube channel goes away, we're still going to do the podcast together. And, and we had that conversation, and we're winding it down on that side. And so, the NX project is all us now. So I'm very excited. So we're going to use the next 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so, to just talk about, how we kind of feel about Pow Block and Arsenal X, and how we've kind of evolved as podcasters, and been, our maybe some favorite memories, or just some things that we can talk about just as a final show, as a wrap up, as a, not really a goodbye, but just like just closing. Yeah, a good transitional show into the new. So.
Well, I guess I'll start since, like Corey mentioned, from the Digital Nerds Advocate days. That was DNA. Which is weird because I was listening to Optional Opinion. Sorry for that plug, everybody. But I remember having Corey on my show, and we were just talking, and he was at DNA still before anything happened. And then after that, we just kept talking, and out of that, Pow Block happened with Adrian Nieto. It was us three. Then as time going on, we changed hosts, and most of the times it was me and Corey. And
Adrian just left us to go make games.
Yes, the achieve his dream.
No big deal,
Yeah.
We like, and you literally could see the quality in our shows. Every time a direct happened, every time we were having discussions and stuff, it was just like our thought process and stuff just kind of changed and evolved. And it was always great to be like, regardless of whatever we felt like after the show, we always remain friends, and for always remain like feel like family. And then when Jesse came along, it just, everything still, like, it felt like nothing changed. It just got better, and we just talked and everything. And Nintendo Pow Block, with it being that DNA first, with just Pow Block, and then it just evolving, and Corey having me along, like it's always been a fun ride to talk about Nintendo, and everybody has seen my love for Nintendo, regardless of what you say or how I feel about other stuff. It's always been a fun ride, and growing into the getting closer with the community. putting stuff out there for other podcasters to hear and going on their shows and talking and meeting new people through Power Block and stuff. It's always, sorry about that. It's always been an adventure for me. I've ordered a new microphone stand, everybody. So I thank God for Amazon because the thing about it is the microphone that I have now is heavy than this mic stand that I have. So it would just be like bloop in the fallout. So I'll be having a new mic and hopefully I have a new look for the show also. But it's been a venture with Nintendo Pow Block. And then with Arsenal X, we needed an Xbox podcast because we was talking about Microsoft, but we never had an outlet to do it. Me and Corey, we did our Sony stuff and handed it off to Jason with him and his team, but we just still didn't have an outlet for Xbox. So, like Corey mentioned, we joked around with the name and stuff, and then Arsenal X got mentioned, and I was just like, yes, that's the name, that's the show.
I thought it like I just said it because I think I was playing Halo and we were just kind of in a group chat talking about it, and I was like, Arsenal X, and Ed's like, yeah, I'm like, no, that's the dumbest name ever, and he's like, no, we're keeping it. I was like, well, okay, yes, and it turned out to be like the cool, like out of all the shows, like the coolest logo and like the coolest kind of like banner and everything after like when we went through and changed all the logos for the shows and stuff, and it was like, well, this is cool, I guess, like the logo is cool, and okay, here we go, I guess.
and thank you, Corey, for allowing me to host it. Corey was hosting Power Block and Arsenal X, and I
just thank you for hosting it. I was tired.
And I think that episode with me, it was just me and Jesse, and we just had this connection and stuff. And I was just like, let me change it up. And yes, everybody throwing up the X, as goofy as it may sound and stuff. It was always fun to do because it was just like, this is something not only the community could go in, but kind of represent like what Xbox is. Xbox is about having fun too, just like any other console show. So I am kind of happy. I will turn it over with my last final say, which would be a memory that I had. Our memory still to this very day, Corey, is when it was that Nintendo Direct and they announced Doom and Wolfenstein 2, and we like literally just got together and just had an episode about the Nintendo Direct and just had an amazing time. That second one would have to be E3 of last year. Also, our E3 ones were really good. Just watching the shows together and enjoying it, especially with Xbox with you too, Jesse. Watching it and us commenting and us being all three being blown away that they got Ninja Theory and stuff, and it was just like, wait, what? Like that stuff blew our mind, and it was just enjoying to have E3 with you guys. So that's my last thing I have to say, and I'll do my best not to chime.
I'll go next. So like, obviously I kind of started as just a fan of, listening to Pow Block and so then eventually, I started talking with you guys and stuff and chatting with you guys, and then eventually, like you guys had talked about wanting to start an Xbox show because, like, let's face it, I mean, there are some Xbox shows out there, and there's some good ones out there, but like, there's still, like I still feel like they don't get as much, there's not as much content being put out, people talking about Xbox, as a whole, for the most part. And so like I was excited like when you guys had, mentioned something about it, and then next thing you know, like you guys are like, well, would you, want to join us? And I was like, oh man, I don't know if I mean, I knew I could probably do it, but it was like just something I have done yet, you know, like I'd never really did a podcast, and I have like bad anxiety when it comes to like, you know, talking in front of people or whatever. I mean, yeah, this is just a camera and technically, you know, whatever. It's something you're seeing later, but it's still just that part of that anxiety. But at the same time, I'm like, well, you know, like I work third shift, and I, you know, I'm by myself at my job, you know, at night, third shift, and, you know, having kids, like so like most of my conversations are with the kids, or, you know, like my wife occasionally, like once she gets home. And so it's like, you know, like I started listening to podcasts and shows and stuff because I don't really have much adult conversation in my life. And so I'm like, well, you know, I have this anxiety, but at the same time, this would be an awesome thing to do and be able to finally have a conversation with someone someone that isn't, you know, under 10 years old or whatever. So I was like, you know what, I'll do it. And then, you know, and then we started doing it, and honestly, it's probably one of the best things, you know, that I've ever decided to do, because I just, you know, I just love doing the shows with you guys. And like as far as like memories, like, you know, any of the threes and stuff that we've done, but like for me it's like the watching the Turtles movies together, and
Yes.
commentating on that. It's seriously like some of the most fun like conversations ever. And playing the Halo 5, even though like we would
I'm still
constantly be
shaking
dying.
my fist at Corey about knocking me
Uh,
off.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Just,
that
you know,
was
like,
really funny.
yeah, it was great. Like just those kind of things, like the just us being able to have fun and play games together and just have good conversations brings me back to like the heyday of like playing games back in the day when we were younger and had more time to play with our, you know, because like I used to just literally be at my friend's house like every single day, and all we would do is like play N64 or PlayStation or whatever. And, you know, and it just like doing this stuff is like really, because there was a good chunk of time there where, you know, like I was in the process of like, I don't really want to be alone anymore, and like I want